Anne-Marie, thank you very much. Now, almost 900 people who are studying at further education colleges in Northern Ireland will not be receiving their qualifications this year as planned.
It's because their work placements were disrupted as a result of the virus. Principals are warning of potential longer-term consequences of continued disruption to apprenticeships. So let's get our heads around this. We can hear from 18-year-old apprentice Ben Brown, who's on the programme. Ben, welcome.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Ben, you're from Carrickfergus, and we know you were furloughed for around 9 weeks earlier in the year. First of all, tell us about your apprenticeship. What's it in? How much time do you spend on the job? How much back in the classroom?
The electrical installation, in terms of in the classroom and tech, I am there 1 day a week and 4 days a week. Out on anywhere. It can be from our workshop in Belfast or a site anywhere in the country, really.
So that would suggest that the on-site experience is the most important part of your training, actually being on the ground, using your hands.
Yes.
So tell me about furloughing earlier in the year. What happened?
It was around towards the end of March. It was. Everything to do with the coronavirus was kicking off really badly, and I was starting to get concerned about what was going to happen, especially because I was seeing lots of places getting closed down and that. And I just got the phone call one day, I think it was the end of March, saying that I was getting furloughed for an unknown amount of time, so it was concerning.
I bet it was concerning. I mean, if it was some kind of an academic course that you were studying, you could get to the point in a textbook, I don't know, and say, well, when furlough happened, I'm up this far in my textbook and I've that much to do. Apprenticeships are different. How would you quantify how far along your training you were and how much more you had to do? What kind of stuff did you have to learn?
Well, I'm only in my first year. I've just finished my first year, so I'm doing a 4-year course, so think about it, I wasn't even, when furlough happened, I wasn't even a year into it. So there's still a big majority still to learn.
Do you feel like you're playing catch up now, Ben?
Yes, really, especially with tech work, because I was having to do work over lockdown online.
And that's not quite the same as having that practical experience.
No.
What about friends or classmates? What are their experiences in this?
There's many of my classmates, especially, are still on furlough, still not back to work. I'm lucky enough to be back for a good few months now.
I don't want you to panic, but we've got your boss on the phone as well. Rachel Doherty from the PAC group in Belfast. Rachel, welcome along to the programme. Just to get an idea of how much your company depends on these kind of apprenticeship schemes, just what is that connection like with this as a way to bring new people along into the company?
Hi, how are you? Yes, for us it's absolutely vital. Ultimately, we're an electrical and mechanical engineering company, and we put apprentices through formal qualifications, but a huge amount of what our apprentices are required to do is very, very niche, and we teach most of what we need them to do on the job. So in terms of having a skills pipeline that we can rely on 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, we need to make sure we have a steady stream of young talent coming into the company then that we can train up.
Is there a danger that this will now impact your future use of apprenticeships longer term?
I think so, absolutely. I think industry-wide it's probably a much bigger problem. As Ben said there, we were able to bring back people probably from around June time, and we haven't had to furlough since, luckily, but we're not too sure what the future holds. Industry-wide, I myself sit on the Mid and East Antrim Manufacturing Task Force, and across industry we've seen, up to 50% of level 3 apprentices are no longer in college, and we've seen before with the 2008 recession what happens to industry when you end up with skill shortages, and pre-COVID, which wasn't that long ago, many companies across the province were struggling to get the right skills. So if this isn't resolved soon, it can definitely have a wider impact.
Well, just paint a picture for those who aren't familiar. or for those who aren't familiar with what that skill shortage results in, you made reference there to the last recession. What impact did that have?
To be honest, it took a really, really long time for that to start to sort itself out, probably in and around 2015. But ultimately, it means, there's potential impact on the quality of workmanship. Certainly the salaries, the price that you have to pay then for the skilled type of people, skilled roles, can go up significantly, which increases the costs to the business, therefore increasing costs to customers. It bottlenecks. It can really bottleneck and stall everything. I was on quite a few panels towards the tail end of last year. We had reached the lowest unemployment rate on record in Northern Ireland, and there really wasn't the right skill sets there available. Temporarily, we're going to see some talent being released back out into industry again, which I'm sure for some companies it's a bit of a famine or a feast. They may get snapped up, but longer term, if that isn't resolved, we are going to see problems. And
Rachel, I was wondering, just generally, in a typical year, what kind of appetite there is for apprenticeships with your company?
Well, personally, I've been in industry now 10 years. PAC Group have been going, it'll be 3 in February, so we're still a relatively young company. Generally speaking, there is good interest. There's still good understanding that getting a trade or doing a qualification like electrical installation or mechanical or engineering is sought after. There's good career opportunities. In my experience, I've seen potentially, if we're hiring, say, 2 to 3 apprentices a year, you might get in the region of 30 applicants.
Would you get many women applying?
We do. It is still a small minority. I would typically say, for example, in 60 to 70 applications, you may get 2 to 3 females. It's still not enough. It's still something that needs to be worked on, absolutely.
Are there applications down this year?
No, they went through the roof. We did decide this year, we weren't entirely sure if we were going to be able to take on apprentices, but we started the recruitment process in June, knowing that if we didn't, it would be quite too late with the colleges starting next week. And it went basically as viral as it could go in Northern Ireland. It got a huge amount of shares and likes and people applying, and we ended up with just over 70 applications for what we advertised as 2 posts, which is quite a lot, really, and the quality of the applicants was very, very high.
Ben, you're, as you say, back at work now and feeling pretty fortunate to be in that position when some people aren't. I'm just wondering, as you look ahead and to more possible disruption that might come along, just how do you feel about your prospects in getting through this time and then building towards employment beyond that?
No, that is really, it's scary almost, yeah. Don't really know what I would do. I was very lucky to get this job in the first place, and it was a struggle to find other places because I had tried and contacted many other places to get my apprenticeship, but I couldn't know where I could get somewhere.
What's the big dream for you? What would you eventually love to be doing?
I would love to be the likes of a manager or something, managing, say, tens or hundreds of people below me.
You a hard taskmaster?
Yes.
Rachel, I don't know if he's learning from you in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you could ask the rest of the boys in here. They'd probably say something similar.
I'm guessing the rest of your workforce, having the apprentices in, it actually has a big effect on them as well. Just being able to pass on that knowledge.
Absolutely, we rely on that. We rely on really skilled individuals. As you say, passing it on to the next generation of engineers. We're quite a close-knit team. We've 35 employees at present. So even in terms of the sense of camaraderie, it's not quite the same when some of your team members aren't there. So I know, obviously, we were very thankful to have everyone back, as I say, around June time. And so far, we haven't had to use the furlough scheme again, and we hope going forward we not only won't have to do that, but won't come across, no one wants to face the difficult decisions that come with redundancies.
Rachel Doherty from the PAC Group, thank you. Ben Brown, also, we appreciate you coming on to talk to us. The Department for the Economy has pledged over £17 million to support apprenticeships, but it says the details on how it's going to be allocated will only be made available in due course. We're not sure how that's going to work, and we'll look at that later on in the programme. Of course, those in charge of further education are fearful that it may come too late for some younger people.